Hey guys, I'm just going to make another update video and I'm going to film outside today, which is a bit different because I filmed all my other videos in my room and inside and in my bed, and I just kind of wanted to get outside and a new change of scenery because I've been spending a lot of time outside in my garden. It's really nice, it's quiet, and I'm really kind of getting connected with the birds as well in a really cool way. I just see things completely differently to how I did before I got sick, and I notice it when I'm with other people who aren't sick, and I'm noticing all these birds and everything. It's really cool. But yeah, I just wanted to post a video because yeah, it's been a really stressful 1 to 2 months, 1.5 months, sort of August and September. It's sort of heading towards the end of September now, so I'm just staying outside to enjoy the sun. I'm going to try not ramble. I'm already rambling, but I'm going to try not ramble because I remember when I was at my worst sort of 7-8 months ago, back last winter, I couldn't even tolerate a 2-minute video. I was so sensitive to sound. I couldn't deal with it. I just couldn't. So yeah, I'm going to try and keep this quick. Yes, it's been a really stressful 1.5 months. I just feel like I've been on a road to recovery and bulldozers have been coming in from all angles and just wrecking it for me. Just external factors. It's just been one of those times, and I hope it's going to improve. I'm sure it will now. So basically I've been bedbound a year, and I moved to I decided, because there's been some family issues with my parents and stuff, and it's just I've tolerated it for a year now, been bedbound a year. I wanted a change of scenery, and my granddad, who's 81, lives in a flat in Dover, which is like a 2-hour drive from me, right on the seafront, beautiful views, and he kept offering to pick me up and take me down there, but I just haven't been well enough. But I just bit the bullet back in the summer, like a month and a half, 2 months ago. It was sort of beginning of August time, and he drove me in his camper van, and I got to lay down for the whole journey, and I was really worried about it, stressing. But I relaxed and I just breathed through the journey, and I got there all fine. And another thing happened as well. I've been working with a functional medicine doctor, and she said on one of my blood tests that I've been breathing in, I think it's this stuff called mycoplasma, which is apparently mold. You can breathe it in when you go on aeroplanes and stuff, but you also can get it from mold. And it's been on my mind for a long time. I had this mattress in the garden that I was laying on, and it was getting damp on the grass in the evenings. I was putting it in the shed, getting out the next day. So we changed that, and I think that's what could have been the problem. But we changed that for a camp bed, so I've got it had metal legs. But my functional medicine doctor's got in her head that I'm breathing mold in somewhere. We've also had our bathroom redone. So I just wanted to change the scenery to try and rule that out. So we drove to my granddad's, but unfortunately the first thing when I walked into my granddad's flat, I was all excited. I wanted to just move there. It was all on the same level. I didn't have to deal with stairs. And the first thing I breathed in was dampness. And I was like, what's going on? Why is there dampness? And he was like, oh, sorry, I've he's 81. He's so inspiring. I love him. I love my granddad, but he left the tap on in the bathroom, and he's got a carpet in the bathroom, and the water spilled over and soaked the floor, and it was damp and musty and smelled like that mouldy smell. So I tolerated it, and I just enjoyed the sea views, calm atmosphere. But also the road, my bedroom was it's all quite close together, and my bedroom was looking out over, there's a main road. It's like living near a motorway, and the noise was so loud to adjust to, and I think if I'd been well, I probably wouldn't have been bothered by it, but I'm so sensitive to noise, and I'd wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning, and my sleep was not good there. So I was just trying to pick up the positives of being there, though, soaking up the sea air. I also got in the sea for the first time in a year, because my mum just drove me to literally 30 seconds. I could have walked there, but I couldn't walk there because I'm ill, but it's literally across the road. But she drove me to the beach, and I staggered down the beach and just dived into the water, and I was like, I didn't know if it was a good idea. I didn't know if I was going to crash, but it was so good being in the sea on the hottest day of the year when I've been trapped inside a flat. Haven't seen the sea for a year. It was just amazing, and it was just awesome, and I was surrounded by other people, and I looked completely well, and I was surrounded by other people who were like, had no idea that I'd been in bed for a year and this is the first time I was jumping in the sea. It was a weird feeling. Anyway, back at my granddad's, then the last final straw that kind of broke the camel's back, if you would call it that, was my doctor rang me up, my home GP rang me up and said, have you had a vaccine for TB, tuberculosis, which is a nasty bacteria? A lot of people have been vaccinated for them. I haven't, but my antibody level was high for one of the tests. Well, it was borderline anyway, borderline positive. And I was like, oh no, oh god, not TB, please. Like, okay, right, what's the treatment for it if I do have TB? And he said, I'll probably like a long course of antibiotics. So throwback to January, I had Legionnaire's antibodies, and I didn't want to screw around with that. I'd done loads of travelling last year, so I had a 10-day course of antibiotics, completely ruined my gut health. I've had just a crappy gut since then, and being on those 10 days of antibiotics were the worst days of my life. I just felt awful on them. Like, there were days back, it was back in January, and it was just when I was at my worst, and I thought I was going to die some days. I felt so ill. I remember each antibiotic, taking it, just going, please don't, like, I just want to get this done. Like, and I remember just counting the days down. So to think, like, okay, if I've got TB, I'm going to have to be on 6-9 months of antibiotics. How am I going to do that? I don't physically know my body could do that. I've been so ill, and the doctors don't understand. But he said, don't panic, it could be something else. So at that point, I went into shell shock, I think, so stressed out. I was also trying to take antimicrobials, which is try and just kill off this, because my gut health has been awful, trying to kill off any bacteria in the gut. And I think combined with that and all the stress, I ended up having like 13 bouts of diarrhea all in one day, and I felt like I was crashing. I had 4 days of severe crash symptoms. I don't deal with stress at all well, and it's something I'm just practicing with meditation and stuff. I don't have TB, by the way. I had a retest. I decided to pack it in and go home. I also didn't fit in the bath at my granddad's. That's like the one thing I can do is have a bath, and I tried to get in the bath, and I was like, I'm 6'1". I think the bath is quite small anyway, but yeah, so there was that. And my mum had to come with us because she was cooking all my meals for me, and it just sucked. It really did suck, and I will try and go back to this again when I am a bit better, but I just couldn't do it. So basically I came home, and because of my gut health, they also wanted to check for infectious diseases, wanted to check for parasites. So I had 3 different stool tests done on 3 separate days. So I have to do 3 days in a row. I had to come off all antimicrobials. And this is another thing as well, if you're having your tests done, come off any antimicrobials and probiotics for like 4 or 5 days. Because apparently, according to my functional medicine doctor, they can interfere with the results and tests. Like, I had a Lyme disease test when I was on antimicrobials before I was told it, and it came back negative, and then I had another one through my doctors which came back borderline again, and they haven't really gone much further into it. The doctor said I don't have Lyme, but then my functional medicine doctor says I probably do. So yeah, where are we? Came home, did the stool test, did another TB test, and luckily that one came back negative, so I was really happy about that. But I thought I'd done 1 test borderline positive, 1 test negative. What does that mean? So I asked for, sorry, it's quite windy by the way. I asked for another retest, but they said you don't need one. You haven't got TB, you haven't got any symptoms of TB, and I was still stressing a bit, but I decided, with some advice from other people, I put it to bed, decided to just forget about it. So that was really reassuring. But whilst I was off antimicrobials for those tests, I did, through my functional medicine doctor, I did a SIBO test, a full comprehensive Lyme disease test, a mold test, and a GI map to check what the hell is going on with my gut. Those results have come back now. Apart from the Lyme, I'm still waiting for the Lyme disease one. and I'm interested to see what the result of that one will be. Although if it is Lyme disease, I won't be able to treat it yet anyway, because my immunity is so low and I just can't tolerate many antimicrobials. I haven't got small intestine bacterial overgrowth, or SIBO, luckily, but it's borderline again. It's it's hard to say whether I've got SIBO or not. The mold came back negative, which I'm pleased about, which means I'm not breathing in mold from at home. But then my functional medicine doctor said it could be because my body's not able to fight it, because mold is the last kind of like, what's it called? I can't remember the word of it. Like enemy that's in the body that the body will fight. Like it will fight viruses and bacteria first before mold. But the GI map, the stool GI map, came back, and I've got 4 nasty bacteria in my gut. One is Staphylococcus, and I've got a Staphylococcus infection in my nose, which I've been trying to treat with allicin and a nebulizer to spray allicin into the nose. But unfortunately it's giving me asthma, so I'm coming off it for a bit, and I'm going to retry that again. So there we are, and I had another call with my functional medicine doctor, and she's not pleased that my gut is still so bad, and it's not stress, because I've been literally meditating. Although I've had a lot of stress this last month and a half, I've really worked hard at getting out in the garden, relaxing in nature, watching the birds, meditating, breathing, relaxing. I've had baths, really just relaxing, and I remember just like really focusing on relaxing, and it's still, I just had diarrhea. I wake up with these adrenaline surges, and my gut would just open up. Oh, horrible. Yeah, it'd be like these adrenal surges, and then I'd have severe diarrhea. So my functional medicine doctor said it's not stress. Well, that's like a trigger, is the trigger to the diarrhea, but it's not the cause of it. Apparently, yeah, she says because of my results I've got bacteria in the gut. So I spoke to another guy who he's called Mark, and he does these infrared saunas, and he basically I ended up hiring this infrared sauna for a month, and it's really good. Like literally, I get inside of it. It's like a big sleeping bag. I get inside of it like a blanket, and I've been doing 2 minutes in there at the moment. It doesn't make you sweat. Apparently, you're not meant to sweat. It's the infrared light that gets into your body and then heats your body up, and it basically detoxifies. And it basically, if there's a dead cell or not a cell that's not working properly, it will just come in and reproduce the cell and then detoxify that one. So yeah, and that's actually really been helping me. My energy is improving quite a lot, and for the first time in like a year, my brain fog completely lifted. I was like, whoa, I can see clearly again. It was weird. It was like I've been looking through this foggy glass, and then suddenly it's like cleared. That lasted for like a few days and then went away again, because I did have a little bit of a relapse again, due to all the stress of the TB and everything. And then on top of that, there's been a few family issues with my mum and my dad. They've basically never got on. It's a long story, but they were thinking of divorcing at one point, and I was just so stressed out. But I've started a housing application, and I might potentially try and move out when I improve, and that's something to look forward to as well. But everything's kind of calmed down now. They are working things out and stuff, and my brother's just had a baby, so they're going to see him. But yeah, and my diarrhea has actually cleared up the last few days. I've decided to, if I have got an infection, I've upped probiotics. I'm taking this stuff called can never pronounce it. It's Saccharomycin boulardii, and really good probiotics, and they're antifungals as well. And I was taking 3 originally, but I've upped it to 4 now per day. And then I've reduced carbohydrates that ferment, so like potatoes, sweet potatoes, rice. Yeah, so that's about it really. That's where I'm at. Damn it, this is 15 minutes. I knew I was going to ramble a lot, but if you're still watching, then thank you. But yeah, it's been mad. I just feel like I've been on this road and it's just been like family issues smashed out, and then like go to my granddad's, dampness smashed out, and it's like going to my granddad's again, and it's like didn't fit in the bath, and I was like, oh well, just stay on the same road. And it's like TB, bang. Oh, and it's like what's the treatment for TB? 6-9 months of antibiotics, and it's just been like one thing after the other, and it's like, oh, man, gee. But everything's cleared up. Haven't got TB, haven't got anything bad, just still ill, but not bedbound. Sometimes bedbound, sometimes not. And yeah, just moving forwards. I hope you guys are doing well. I've got some really cool comments from everyone. Like, everyone who's commented on my channel so far has been so positive, and I really like it. And there's days like where I've, like, throughout this whole period of time, I've been so down some days, just severe depression, like welling up crying, anger, frustration. And then like I'll read a comment from someone who's just said something really positive, like, oh, I was how you were 2 years ago or a year ago, now I'm nearly better or completely better, and it's just really nice. So thank you everyone that's commented. If you're new, feel free to subscribe. You're probably not still watching, but yeah, I'm just enjoying the rest of the summer. It's been a weird year being ill. Just watching the butterflies now. There's been loads of butterflies, dragonflies. There's one right there. And yeah. So next video I'll update you. I'll know whether I've got Lyme disease or not, and you'll hear about my gut, whether it's still good or not. Hopefully it will just clear up, and I'll just start getting to the next step. I've been working through the ANS rewire as well when I've had the time, but I've been so busy with other stuff that it's just haven't had the time to get through the videos, but I'm slowly getting back on track with that. Anyway, 17 minutes. I'm really sorry for rambling. If you're still watching, thank you, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.